Mic test 1. Hold on guys, I am gonna try to figure out why the audio is not showing up and why my microphone is making that sound. Hold on guys, I am gonna try to figure out why the audio is not. Mic test. Okay, that seems to be a little bit better. No background static or anything like that, which is good. Mic test. Okay, that seems to be a little bit better. No background static or anything like that, which is good. All right, let's see how this works, or if this works. Okay, I think it sounds pretty good. Okay, I think it sounds pretty good. I gotta make sure I don't accidentally mute my mic when I'm doing this. Whew. Okay, now that I've wasted the first 23 minutes of this stream just trying to make sure everything works, and then I have everything set up to look really nice. Let's jump right into it. Let me just make sure of a couple of things here before doing that, because God, what a pain. All right, let me get out of this freaking menu. Okay, here we go. Hey, what's up, Evan? Good to see you here. I haven't done this in such a long time. I think this is like the first time in freaking, I don't know, like 3 or 4 months almost since the last time I streamed. I think probably 5 actually. But I figured that with the release of Fire and LeafGreen on the Switch that I would, do something. And do something different this time, because I haven't done anything like this before with the challenge I'm going to do. So, but I'll go over in a little bit. Yeah, the progonal, my son returns. Yes, I have returned. I know it's prodigal, but progonal. If you've ever watched The Office, progonal. My progonal. My son returns. All right, let me just double check a few things. Let me just make sure the music works. Okay, cool. All right, so all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. This should be recording too. Yeah, okay, it's recording. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it so that way I can explain the rules a bit of what's gonna be happening today and moving forward for the next however many streams this challenge will take me to do. And then we'll get right into the shiny hunting. So now that I've wasted 25 minutes trying to get things put together, I'm gonna just kind of catch up with everyone for a sec. I'll give myself like a couple minutes to do that, and then I'll explain then what we're gonna be doing today. All right, so it's been a while since I've done this. Like I said a couple minutes ago, it's been like 4 or 5 months probably at this point since I last streamed anything, and that's something that I really need to get back into the rhythm of doing. I just haven't done it in so long. I've been busy with other stuff. I think I stopped like a month or 2 before like the holidays started to really pick up, so I didn't have a lot of time to be able to stream and do other stuff. I haven't even been able to upload that many, like any videos really. I did a tier list. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, I did a tier list split into 3 parts a few months ago that I do have other video ideas that I want to do. I just haven't gotten around to recording them yet, but I already have a couple ideas in mind. I have a script that I'm working on that I'll probably try to record from this week. I'll try to get that video going and upload it sometime within the next week or 2. It's going to be Gen 3 related also, using Pokemon, or it'll be about Pokemon Emerald, so I'll do a video on that coming up, and then a couple of other video ideas that I had that I've been sitting on for a little bit that I'll also work on in the next couple weeks or so. I've also been doing some like like life stuff. The last couple months, I spent like a little over 2 months studying for a studying for my real estate license. And I passed the test first time, so I'm a licensed real estate agent. So that's pretty big stuff for me. Trying to do something different, with my life. So I figured that'd be something cool to do. I can do that. Have close maybe a few deals a year, and still have so much free time to be able to do stuff like this, like streaming, and make videos on YouTube and whatnot. And then I also have my salary, or not my salary job, my wage job, my hourly wage job, for the foreseeable future, English. And so that way I can keep some benefits until I get to the point where I don't need to do that anymore. So and then it would just be purely real estate. What else? I think that's about it, really. Nothing else major has been going on, so that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and jump right into then what the stream is going to be about today, and what the next few streams, or the next however many streams going forward, will be about. So I figured that since with the 30th anniversary for Pokemon having just happened this past Friday, and with the release of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, I figured that I would revisit these games. I've never played these games on the channel before, but personally I wanted to revisit these games and play through them again. I was going to get them anyway, but I figured that if I was going to do it this time, I would do something different than just playing the vanilla game and beating it in a few hours, and that would be it. So instead, what I'm going to do is turn this into a badge quest sort of challenge. Let me adjust myself here. I gotta be careful when I go to move my mic that I don't mute it, because there's a touch sensitive mute button here on the microphone. Even just like grabbing it cuts off like that. So I gotta be careful when I do that. All right, so for anyone that's not familiar with what a badge quest is where you essentially you play through the game, and you have to catch a shiny Pokemon before you battle the next major boss. In this case, it'll be the gym leaders and the Elite Four. I'm not going to include other boss fights that are not gym leaders or the Elite Four, such as your rival, Gary, Blue, Green, whoever you want to call them, as well as the Giovanni fights. I think there are 3 Giovanni fights throughout the whole game, not including his gym. I could be wrong. Maybe it's 2 non-gym Giovanni fights. I can't remember if the first one might be the Rocket Hideout, and then the second one I know is Sylph Co. So I'm not going to count those towards the badge quest. I'm not going to try to get a shiny Pokemon before I take on Giovanni at Sylph Co. or Rocket Hideout or anything like that. So I'm only going to catch the shiny Pokemon when before I go up against a gym leader. So in total, there should be 9 shiny Pokemon at least by the time that I get to the end of the game, by the time that I become champion. Now, this could take me a few months, probably even a whole year. So who knows, when a more condensed version is gonna end up on YouTube, but we'll get there when we get there. So I'm gonna go over the rules of my badge quest. The rules are a little bit more lenient for me, because I don't want this to be such a difficult challenge to the point where it's not gonna be enjoyable. I think that having like 1 or 2 kind of difficult challenges would make the game a little more interesting, but I'm not gonna make it so challenging that for example, if I were to do a Nuzlocke, I'm not going to make it where if I just happen to have really bad luck, I end up losing the challenge halfway through, and I'm not going to do that. So I'll go over the rules and some of the clarifications and exceptions that'll be happening throughout this challenge. So that way everyone is aware. So number 1, I must catch a shiny Pokemon before every gym challenge. I already explained that. I think that's pretty cut and dry. Other boss fights do not count, as I just said. I'm not doing Giovanni, or I'm not doing shinies before Giovanni or shinies before battling my rival. In my game, I named him Blue, so that way it's more in line with the original games. All right, rule number 2. Excuse me for the sneeze. So rule number 2, I cannot duplicate a shiny. So every Pokemon on my team must be unique and cannot be from the same family even. So if I catch 2 shiny Pokemon, they must be in completely different evolutionary families. So I put here as an example. So let's say if I come across a shiny Bellsprout early in the game. I know you can encounter them north of Cerulean, if I'm not mistaken. I cannot then later on in the game when I'm near Fuchsia, I believe the route just east of it, like as if you're heading towards like around the south, and then on the east side to get to like Viridian, or even if you go further north, you go into Lavender Town. So that route right there, right east of Fuchsia City, there is also a chance to encounter Weepinbell. So if I encounter Bellsprout early on in the game, a shiny one, and I catch it, I use it on my team. If I then later on that route, or on that route, whichever, whatever, if I later on in the game on that route encounter a shiny Bellsprout, I cannot use it in my playthrough because I already have the Weepinbell. I can't use it because I already have a Bellsprout. So now I can catch it. I am allowed to catch it. I just cannot use it on my team because it would be considered a duplicate. Let me see if there's anything other points here. Yeah, so I'm allowed to catch it, but they will not be used on my team for the duration of the challenge. Perfect. Okay, yeah. I think that's pretty straightforward. So I just can't catch a shiny Pokemon in the same family of a Pokemon that I already have as a shiny. I can catch it and keep it in the box. I just can't use it on my team. And then let's see. So I will allow myself to catch non-shiny Pokemon specifically for the purposes of using HMs. So if I need to fly, for example, and I happen to not have a shiny Pidgey or a Spearow or something, then I can have a Spearow or have a Pidgey on my team for the sole purpose of being able to fly from town to town. I just can't use it during battle. Now, if it gets to a point where I don't have any of my usable Pokemon that have health during a battle, and the only Pokemon I have left is a non-shiny HM user, then I have to find a way to lose the battle on purpose, so that way I don't win. I don't win. I don't want to have a team where I have a non-shiny that does something, right, that knocks out a Pokemon or whatever. So I will give myself the ability to catch a Pokemon for the purposes of using an HM or some other type of field move that would make traversal a little bit easier. All right, and then the last rule is that, and then this is kind of like more for an aesthetic thing, but the last rule is that for a little bit added difficulty, especially later on in the game, I can only use a standard Pokeball to catch Pokemon. Now, the reason why I say it's an aesthetic thing is because I just prefer to catch all my Pokemon in a regular Pokeball. It's more consistent that way, and again, it's just aesthetic. I prefer to have everything in the same Pokeball, and I prefer it to be in the original classic red-white Pokeball. I think that should be it. All right, so those are the rules. So I must catch a shiny before every gym and use it on my team. Now, I don't have to necessarily use that Pokemon, like that newly caught Pokemon against the gym. I just have to catch a shiny Pokemon. It'll be on my team until I swap it out with a better Pokemon, but I don't have to use the Pokemon. Although I'm pretty sure any shiny Pokemon that I catch, I'm going to use it in some capacity, especially when I'm going up against boss fights or other difficult trainers that have, multiple Pokemon on their team, that I will need some sort of, diversity. But let's say if I have a shiny Pikachu, I'm not going to use it against maybe not a good example. Let's say I have a shiny Bellsprout and I go to battle Misty. Now I don't not Misty. What am I saying? What's a better example? Let's say that I have the shiny Geodude, or can you get Geodude in Mount Moon? I don't even know at this point. Okay, let's say Squirtle. Let's say, because I'm going to shiny hunt Squirtle. That'll be my first shiny Pokemon. When I go up against Lieutenant Surge, I'm not going to use Squirtle during the battle. That would be stupid. That would be a dumb move because Squirtle is weak to electric, and that makes no sense. I can keep him on my team if I want to, or I can put him in the box, but I'm not going to use it, because it makes no sense from a battle perspective, from a type matchup perspective. So I'm not going to force myself. I know I'll have used a Squirtle already, but for 2 gym badges, I'm not going to use a freshly caught shiny Pokemon that happens to be weak against the next gym, just because I decided to implement a rule where I tell myself that where I force myself to use that Pokemon, that freshly caught Pokemon, in battle, in the next boss battle. I'm not going to do that. So long-winded just to say I am not going to, or I don't have to use every Pokemon I catch in a battle, or use a freshly caught Pokemon in the next battle if I don't want to, if I don't need to. I will use what's appropriate, is what I'm trying to say. Or just have them all on my team in case I need to stall, right? Now, a couple of other things that I want to go over. These are just clarifications for the challenge itself. So this is only going to be a badge quest challenge. I'm not going to add any other types of or like stack other challenges on top of it to make it more difficult, like I was saying before. So this will not be a Nuzlocke whatsoever. I'm not going to make this a Nuzlocke. If my Pokemon faint, I will heal them and I will continue to use them. But I'm not going to make this a Nuzlocke. Like I mentioned earlier, if I make it a Nuzlocke and I just happen to have really bad luck at a certain point in the game and I lose the challenge, then this whole thing was for nothing. I want to have fun with this game and get to the end of the game and beat Blue and become champion. Like that's the goal. In order to do that, I can't put challenges that will make the game take it like a permadeath sort of challenge. I'm not going to do that. So I'm not doing a Nuzlocke. If Pokemon faint, I can just heal them and keep using them going forward like normal. Let's see. And the other clarification is that I won't add any other little challenges or other difficulties, such as I know some people will force themselves to not use healing items during battle. I'm not going to do that. If I need to heal my Pokemon, whether it's a status condition or I need to heal its HP or revive it or something, I will do that during the battle. I'm not going to make it extra difficult. I'm going to play it like normal. I'm going to play the game like I normally would. The only difference is that I have to shiny hunt. That's it. Other than that, it's normal vanilla Pokemon. No added challenges, no added difficulties. That's just what it's going to be. All right, so now that all of that is out of the way, despite how long-winded that was, I will go ahead and get started with this. So as you can tell, I've already set this up. I set this up a couple days ago. So that way all I had to do was start the stream and get right into the game. So I've named myself, my OT is LG space SW1. Now, if you haven't been here that long, I've explained it a few times before, but what I like to do is that whenever I play a Pokemon game, I typically give my player character, my OT becomes whatever the name of the game is that I'm playing. So if I was playing Pokemon Scarlet, then my OT would be Scarlet. If I'm playing Pokemon Black 2, then my OT would be Black 2. If I'm playing Pokemon Crystal, my OT will be Crystal. And the reason why is because when you play these games and you trade Pokemon to different games, or you transfer them up into newer games, you tend to forget where they came from. And when you get in, when they go into Pokemon Home, it doesn't do that great of a job of telling you that it came from a certain game, because sometimes it's not able to, or Pokemon just haven't been able to figure it out. So sometimes it'll say that this Pokemon came from a distant land, or it traveled across space and time to be with you, or whatever it is, right? And it won't tell you exactly where the game, or where the Pokemon came from, what game it came from. Which is why when I started with Pokemon, I believe it was Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I started to name my OT, or I started to make my OT whatever game it is that I'm playing. And then with all the older games prior to that, whenever I've replayed through them, and I think I've replayed through all of them now, or at least I've started a new save file on all of them, I've named, or I've made my OT that game for that file. So that's why I'm LGSW1 for LeafGreen Switch account number 1. Now I do have a second, I have 5 total switches, but I have another switch with another account where I have downloaded, for now, just Pokemon LeafGreen, so that way I can have 3 of these and have, one of each of the starters and one for each of the legendary cats. And the Switch 1 is meant to tell me that this is my main account. On the secondary account, it'll be SW2 for Switch 2, meaning my secondary account. So that way, if I ever transfer these Pokemon into other games, or trade them, or put them into Home or something, then I know where they came from. All right, enough of that. So I don't expect for me to get a shiny Pokemon today. So what I'm gonna do is try to get like a couple hundred resets in today for the shiny Squirtle, and then I'll be back later this week for another stream or 2. So that way I can continue with the shiny hunts. 100 years of good luck for not calling them legendary dogs. Yeah, I stopped calling them legendary dogs from a very young age. I mean, people call them beasts, which is also acceptable. But they're definitely cats. They're definitely cats. Raikou is a tiger, Entei is a lion, and Suicune is a leopard, basically, or a jaguar or something, along those lines. Like another jungle cat of some kind. All right, and then just to kind of explain what's going on here all over the screen here. So I've got on the bottom right corner the badges. In the bottom middle, I have my team, so Squirtle will end up there eventually. And then on the left, I have the Pokemon that I'm currently hunting. Now, in this instance, because this is the first Pokemon that I will ever come across, the sprite for Squirtle is the only sprite that'll be here. When I go to shiny hunt another Pokemon in the future, like I'm gonna have certain targets that I'm gonna want to encounter. Like I would like to have maybe like a Nidoran, or a Pidgey or whatever, or if I want to do like a fishing hunt, maybe try to go for a Horsey or a Poliwag or something. I would put all of the possible Pokemon that I could catch in the area that I'm hunting in. And then whatever ends up being then goes to my team. All right, let's go ahead and get started. because I'm already wasting so much time. Now, what I love about what they did with this game is that you can soft reset by just pressing the four action buttons together. Now, if only Nintendo did that with the Switch in general and allowed you to be able to reset a game instead of having to close it and then relaunch it. Especially for Pokemon games where soft resetting would be a little bit easier if I can just press 4 buttons at the same time. And then let me also turn up the music again a little bit, so that way there's something going on. And it's not just me in silence and the sound of my voice in between those silences. It says manifesting shiny Meowth for the cut flash payday pickup combo. Well, one thing funny enough about Meowth, now that you mention it, is that I plan on catching 6 Meowth for pickup specifically. Like for payday, I couldn't care less about it. But I do want it for the pickup ability, so that way, in between, you know, stream sessions, I can try to get as much rare candy as possible, because I feel like I'm gonna need a lot of rare candy for these games. For cut, for sure. I think by teaching them cut, that would also help a lot, instead of wasting it on another Pokemon. But mainly for pickup and for rare candies. It's kind of weird playing this on a Switch. One thing that I'm noticing is that I don't know if it's like the capture device, but like I can see how not sharp the pixels are. If I was playing this on my computer through an emulator or something, or if I was using my my GB operator to let me play the actual game, it will look a lot sharper. But there's just enough fuzziness where I kind of notice it a little bit. Are you gonna do the Nugget Bridge? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So the Nugget Bridge exploit, that was something that I was gonna do too. I don't know if I would do it on stream. I probably would, because it'll be like for story progression purposes. Like the only thing that I'm gonna do off camera is level grinding and like pick up rare candy grinding and stuff like that. But when I'm actually progressing through the game and battling trainers and whatnot, I will stream all of that. Oh, and did you hear too, speaking of the legendary cats, you heard that they fixed the roar glitch? Because that's huge. I got up to 30 and that payout is still carrying me. And this Meowth is picking up more. I've never even sold. Oh, that's right, because I think you can get nuggets from pickup, right? I almost forgot about that. Can you? Wait, yeah, you can get nuggets. I'll probably do it like 30 times also. Like not too much where I become stinky, filthy rich, but I'll definitely do a few just to kind of get me through the game. Like kind of like what you said, that the payout is still kind of helping you through the game. It says Roar doesn't make them disintegrate out of the game anymore. Exactly. So they fixed it because I saw a video that someone confirmed it. They did a screen recording of their Switch where they encountered a Raikou and had it use Roar, and when they went into the Pokédex to check the area, it still showed it on the map, which is great. And then one thing also, if you haven't heard, Evan, is that the event ticket items, like the Aurora ticket and the other one, which I can't remember what it's called, you automatically get them in your bag once you beat the Elite Four. That's at least that's what I've heard. Because the only confirmation was that someone from Japan sped ran. I don't know what the past tense of speed run would be. Speed ran through the game, and they discovered that you get the event ticket items, like to go get Deoxys and Ho-Oh and Lugia once you beat the game. That's the only confirmation that I've heard. Outside of that, I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping that by now people that are playing Western copies, like in English or whatnot, English, Spanish, French, whatever, that are also finishing the games around now, and then they're able to confirm also that the event items are in the bag. Which, if true, then that's awesome. Now, if it is, 100% true, then my hope is that when we get to Pokemon Emerald, if Pokemon Emerald ever comes out, which I'm sure it will, that means that it'll be the first time that we'll be able to shiny hunt a Mew in English legitimately, and it can go into Pokemon Home. Because if you have an English copy of, or if you have just like a non-Japanese version of Emerald, and you hack the game to where you can get yourself to Faraway Island, and you catch that Mew, and you try to transfer it beyond like Gen 5, I think, because at some point it does stop you. I don't remember if it was 5 or like going into Gen 5 or maybe going into Gen 6 when you go into 3DS. It stops you because it knows that it's an illegitimate Pokemon. So only Japanese Mew from Emerald is eligible to transfer up into Gen 6 and beyond. So we'll finally be able to do to get a legitimate shiny Mew from Emerald whenever we do get the game, and that they implement the items you need to get there, which is the old sea map, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Roar doesn't. Okay. Pickup also doesn't care about levels in this game, so Meowth doesn't have to. Yeah, it's not like we're in Emerald and beyond. They made it where the Pokemon with pickup had to be at a certain level to get certain items, which is great. Justify 5% chance for not getting rare candy. I know about the events. I've been wanting this because I didn't want to delete my Omega Ruby save to get more Deoxys. Yeah, I might just get Fire Red later and use that to get my extra Deoxys. Yeah, to me that's much better. Now, I mean, you still have to play through the entire game just to get to the post game to get Deoxys. So it's still a bit of a grind, but I think that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire takes a little bit longer on average than Fire Red and Leaf Green. Now, eventually, what I would want to do is with this game and the other 2 copies of the games that I have on my Switch or Switches, I want to try to double or triple hunt. Well, no, I can't triple hunt, but I can double hunt. Actually, I technically can double hunt. Or sorry, triple hunt. I just have to put 1 copy of one of the games from this console to one of my other consoles that also has the account, and then have all 3 running at the same time and triple hunt. I could do that, but we'll see. I was gonna play through the whole game anyway. This on Switch 2 is my first cancel game. Interesting. Not including Let's Go? See, I don't own Let's Go. I just used the save data of a friend's years ago to get the partner Pikachu and Eevee sprites in Smash. Ah, gotcha. Okay. I thought you played through them. Okay. I mean, to me, I wouldn't say that they're the definitive way to play. Obviously, this is the more definitive way. I just noticed my ID number 2. It's 52552. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, these games are the definitive way to play Fire Red and Leaf Green. Because you have the Sevia Islands and whatever post-game content is in there. Plus, you can get Kanto Pokemon. Or sorry, you can get Johto Pokemon. If I'm not mistaken, there is a way to get 1, maybe 2 Hoenn Pokemon in this game through breeding. And those are with the correct incense, breeding Marill or Azumarill to get Azurill. I think it's the sea incense, if I'm not mistaken. And then for Wobbuffet, I think it's the I can't remember if it was the Lax incense, maybe. That allows you to then get Wynot out of, or sorry, Wynot out of it. Did I say Wynot or Wobbuffet the first time? Yeah, to use that with Wobbuffet, which you can find later on in this game, like post game, and use a specific incense to get Wynot. Other than that, you have to wait until Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald come out. That was weird. My monitor like cut out for a second. That's such a weird sound that it makes when loading up the game. It goes burnt. Oh, okay. That was me pressing the shoulder button. All right, I'm gonna step away for 1 second so that I can take my contact lenses out and put my glasses on. So give me a couple of minutes and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So let's go ahead and continue. All right, my goal was to try to get up to 256 resets. Um, I I'll probably stop at 200 because I am getting a little bit tired. But when I do stream again on Thursday, I will try to stream a little bit earlier, you know, because by that point everything should be working properly. Like, I don't have to worry about setting up. I can just, like, I can start the stream and then start the encounters within the first couple minutes, and then be able to get way more resets done. So once I get to 200, then we'll call it a night. All right, so that's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna go ahead and add that counter there. That's gonna do it for today. I will be back on Thursday, which I think for Thursday I might do I might do 2 separate sessions. I'll do one probably like around like 2 o'clock. Do that for a couple of hours, and then come back probably after 6 or 7 o'clock and do that again for another couple of hours. So 200 for the first 2.5 hours is not bad. I definitely could have done at least another 50, almost 100 more if I would have started about 25 minutes earlier than what I would have wanted. but it is what it is. So we'll see you guys back here on Thursday. Early after 2 o'clock. That's Eastern time. I should probably mention 2 o'clock Eastern time in the United States. Miami time. That's where I live. So around 2 o'clock that time, I'll get back on stream until like maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then come back at around 6:37. All right. So thank you guys for being here today, and I will see you guys then. Take care.